everybody. Welcome, one and all, to a late show. I am your host, Stephen Colbert. We are exactly, mark your calendars, 2 weeks away from the election. So if you haven't decided who you're voting for yet, good luck escaping that abandoned mine shaft. Or stay down there till we have a vaccine. It's hard to explain. We really need a vaccine. It's a long story. Now, as the election day barrels down on us like an out-of-control manure spreader, one of the last chances to influence the race is this Thursday's presidential debate. We here at The Late Show will be live with, live with in-depth political analysis and extensive coverage of whatever flying creature happens to steal the show. My money's on a fruit bat landing on Kristen Welker. Now, at the last debate, Trump interrupted Biden and Chris Wallace, and this is true, 128 times. So the debate commission has announced there will be a mute button at the next presidential debate. That's good. While we're at it, how about a fast forward button? Just zip straight to November 3rd. Now, this mute button won't be operational for the entire debate. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes to answer an initial question. During that portion, the opposing candidate's microphone will be muted. Of course, Trump could just interrupt Biden by walking over to his podium, which is why the debate commission is also putting him on a child leash. Donald, now your turn. Go back to your podium. Do not eat that, young man. The Trump campaign is not happy. Campaign manager Bill Stepien told reporters,
President Trump is committed to debating Joe Biden regardless of last-minute rule changes from the biased commission in their latest attempt to provide advantage to their favorite candidate.
Enforcing the rules isn't giving someone an advantage. That's like saying the Olympic judges are playing favorites because they won't let me throw bricks at Michael Phelps. Now, they may not be happy, but ultimately, the mute button may play in to Trump's new strategy because reportedly his debate coaches now want him to stop interrupting Biden and to try to be more likable. Hold on. Now they're trying to make Trump more likable? He's been president for almost 4 years. That's like a firefighter showing up to your house and saying, okay, let's wait for everything to burn to the ground and sprinkle a little water on there. See what happens. The president's debate team has also indicated that Trump will tell more jokes and strike a softer tone. But they also expect Trump to keep going after Biden's son, Hunter. So softer, funny, but still attack. Why did the chicken cross the road? To buy crack for Hunter Biden. Too hip for the room? Phew. The campaign also wants to give Biden plenty of space to make a gaffe, as the president explained this morning to the Fox and Friends.
There are a lot of people that say, let him talk because he loses his train. He loses his train. He loses his mind, frankly.
Forget about Biden. Trump just lost his train of thought between the words train and of thought. I'm going to let Biden talk until he loses his train. Loses his train. I am a train. Riding that train high on cocaine. Speaking of which, Don Jr., do you have any more of that best is yet to come powder? The inside of my skulls feel a little sticky. No proof of that. Trump complained that the media is soft on Joe Biden.
Look at yesterday. He walks out of a store, and the media's standing there, and they asked him, what flavor ice cream did you get? I mean, think of this.
I know.
They never asked me a question like that. I want them to someday, but they never asked me a question like that. What flavor ice cream did you get?
Your favorite ice cream? I'm going to guess Ben & Jerry's Dexamethasone Dream. But then, later in the interview, Trump got the question he asked for.
Do you want to tell us what your favorite milkshake flavor is?
Yeah, I would. And in about a year or two, when everything is so perfect, I'm going to let you answer that or ask me that question.
That's the softball you asked for. Just say your favorite milkshake. I'm not a white supremacist, but I am telling vanilla to stand back and stand by. Trump held a rally in Tucson yesterday, and before he won, do we need to redo that, or can I just keep going? Just keep going, okay. Before he went on, he told reporters, so we're not going to edit that. So I'm not going to later see you edit it so I said it perfectly. We're going to stick with this right now. Okay.
Transparency.
That's transparency, exactly. That's the Late Show promise. Yes, I'll up, but you'll know. Okay? Stars. They don't do their job very well. He told reporters that he's not desperate because he's behind in the polls.
I'm not running scared. I'm running angry because I think I'm running angry. I'm running happy, and I'm running very content.
I'm not scared. I'm angry at how happy and content I am, which of course then makes me hungry, and I eat, which makes me sleepy. I'm also very dark and very dopey. Once he was on stage, Trump assured the crowd that the pandemic is totally under control.
We are rounding the turn. We have the vaccines coming and all, but even without, we're rounding the turn.
Really? Rounding? Have you seen the COVID spikes? Hospitalizations are on the rise in 41 states. We're not rounding the turn. I'm pretty sure we're sharpening the turn. What we're looking at here is a razor-sharp turn. But Trump said we would stop even trying to keep people from getting sick now because people are getting sick of trying to do that.
People are pandemiced out. You know that? They're pandemiced out.
That's quite a rallying cry when we're facing an existential threat. We're tired of it. It reminds me of Churchill.
We shall fight them on the beaches. We shall fight them on the landing grounds. Oh boy, is anyone else a little Nazi'd out? What if we just let the Germans wash over us?
Still, Trump knows that the economy has taken a hit, so he tacked a few words onto his famous campaign slogan.
Under my administration, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and now we're doing it again. You know, it's Make America Great Again, right? I say, Make America Great Again, 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 again.
You know that every again you add is really just admitting that you screwed up something so bad that you had to fix it. That's not that comforting. It's why Arby's discontinued their slogan.
Arby's, we have the meat. Again.
For a while, it wasn't meat, evidently. But these rally crowds really love Trump, that's true. And he had an interesting reaction to that love.
Thank you. You're going to make me cry. Don't do that. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. Make me cry, you'll destroy my image, and then you won't love me anymore. That'll be terrible.
Okay, I'm not saying I believe everything Freud had to say about the impact of an unloving father, but when someone says, if I cry, then you won't love me anymore, it seems pretty straightforward. See, Papa, no tears. I'm not sad. I'm totally happy and content and angry. Then Trump took aim at his nemesis, the Earth.
The Green New Deal is the craziest thing, right? No more airplanes, no more double cars.
No more double cars? Everybody loves double cars. You know, everybody knows what a double car is. You get a poppy seed bun and a car, cheese, maybe a chicken cutlet car, bun. Or is it one car between two chicken patties? I don't know. Trump said he felt great after getting treated for the COVID, and he played what's fast becoming one of his latest hits.
I woke up and I felt good. I said, get me out of here. Boom, Superman.
Trump isn't Superman. For Pete's sake, Superman spends half of his time at least pretending to care about journalism.
The Daily Slam It.
Trump pointed out how much sun he's getting at these rallies.
You're going to see me tomorrow. I'm going to look like a lobster. You're going to say, look what we did to him. They said, would you like to wear a hat? I said, there's no way I'm wearing a hat. I got to show these. We got to show strength, right?
First of all, gonna look like a lobster? You already look like you've slathered yourself with drawn butter. And hats are a sign of weakness? Hats are kind of your thing. Your campaign has always been about hats and hats. It's always been about hats. Trump is holding so many rallies because he's running out of cash to advertise. Meanwhile, Biden's campaign is flushed with money, and he's targeting seniors by advertising heavily on such shows as Jeopardy! Wheel of Fortune. In fact, last week, Biden even sponsored one of the puzzles. Trump may be trailing Biden in fundraising, but he told the crowd he can get all the money he needs if he really wanted to.
I would be the greatest fundraiser in history. Don't forget, I'm not bad at that stuff anyway, and I'm president. So I call some guy, the head of Exxon. I call the head of Exxon. I don't know, but, you know, I'll use a couple. Hi, how you doing? How's energy coming? When are you doing the exploration? Oh, you need a couple of permits, huh? Okay. But I called the head of Exxon. I said, you know, I'd love to send me $25 million for the campaign. Absolutely, sir. Why didn't you ask? Would you like some more? I would raise $1 billion in one day if I wanted to.
It's bad enough that Trump is bragging there that it would be so easy for him to extort illegal campaign contributions from an oil company. But what's worse is that he does it while sounding like a kid on a Fisher-Price phone. Hello, NASA. How is space? Still really big? Moon seems to be getting so fat this month. Anyway, I need $1 billion so I can be president. Thank you. Mommy has my chicken fingers ready. Goodbye. This was a hypothetical scenario, but Trump's reputation for quid pro quo is so bad that the Exxon Corporation felt the need to clarify, tweeting, "We are aware of the president's statement regarding a hypothetical call with our CEO, and just so we're all clear, it never happened. Sure, we poison your coastlines, we bury climate change research, we've dabbled in regime change and brutal suppression of popular will in third world countries, but this guy might make us look bad." Trump's not just sick of coronavirus, he's also sick of people trying to protect you from it. He's been attacking Dr. Anthony Fauci, seen here telling one COVID patient what not to lick. The president's been running off his mouth about Fauci, calling him an idiot. Well, yesterday, in a radio interview, Fauci said he wasn't going to comment on it because he doesn't want the drama. And he used a movie reference to prove his point.
I focus totally on the health and the welfare of the people of this country. That's the only thing I really care about. That other stuff, you know, it's like in The Godfather, nothing personal, strictly business. As far as I'm concerned.
He's right. The Trumps are just like the Corleones. Who can forget this famous scene?
Look how they massacred my boy.
Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Just watching my algorithms get crushed.
I don't want his mother to see him this way.
We got a great show for you tonight. Dolly Parton is here, but when we come back, meanwhile, join us, won't you?